So recently I donated a work of wood art to somebody for a fundraiser, and they picked the design I'd done in the past that I absolutely love. So I'm gonna recreate that for them. It looks a little something like this. The first thing I had to do was set my gate on my table saw to the width of the strips that I plan on cutting. So I used this piece, which I knew I was going to be using as my width guide, and I just set it between the blade and the gate, lock the blade or gate down, and now I'm ready to start cutting my 1x strips. All right, step 2, after you have ripped your 1x lumber down to 2-inch strips, you gotta get this handy dandy device, my little crosscut sled, and you set it to a 45-degree angle so that as you are taking each of your pieces, have a little stop there, and as you run it through, it'll cut exactly the same piece every single time until you have, let me see, all these little guys here. This is one I ended up not using because, you know, you see the wood's a little knotty and some of the fly started coming across, but you end up with a bunch of little diamond pieces like this, all cut on 45-degree angles from the original 2x strips. After you've laid out your pattern comes the fun part. You break them up into groups of 21 and you spray them all the different colors that you plan on using or staining, from natural to honey to espresso. And then of course they want some yellow too in there. So you spray and stain all of your pieces until they're dry. And I also took my backing piece and I sprayed that, so when you look at it from the back it looks nice and clean and cohesive with the piece of art, but I'll show you later how we cut that guy out. The next step is the fun part where you get to lay out all the different pieces and put the whole puzzle together. This is what our finished look will look like when it finally gets glued up. All right, now that we have our design laid out, it's time for the fun part. Here comes the glue up. To start, I had to measure and find my center point, and I made a little marking here just so I know exactly where the middle is, so that I can work out from there. For gluing, it's real simple. You get a little glue, you get your piece, put a little dab on there, and then you place it in there and do that 168 times. Now the glue up is complete, and we just let this dry for several hours before we cut it out. All right, friends, it's power tool time. Got to break out my oscillating multi-tool, and we're gonna use this sucker to cut out our project. All right, now that we are fully cut out, we have our piece that was removed, and we have our finished product, which I think came out pretty freaking cool. This thing just needs to be wiped down, get some brackets on the back to hang it, and we are good to go. Thanks for watching.